Hello, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Manchester United. So, Manchester United have completed some really important transfers, but currently their squad is extremely bloated, and they have 33 players as of now. So, I've created a tier list to go through all of their players to see whether they should keep, whom they should sell, and whom they should loan out. So, guys, let's jump right in. So here, as you can see, I have put together a list of all of their players currently on their book. So let's see whom we're going to keep, whom we're going to sell, and whom we're going to loan. So first up, let's start off with their keepers. First up, Onana. It's a definite keep. A brilliant signing. Just come for a big fee. I think he's going to really change the way United plays and allow Ten Hag to finally implement his footprint on this team. So yeah, a definite keep. Tom Heaton as well. He's going to be a good third choice keeper, so he can stay. But with Dean Henderson, I think this one uh, I think from Manchester United's perspective, they would love to keep a player like Dean Henderson. He is a pretty good shot stopper. I mean, he was unfortunate with injuries last season at Nottingham, but prior to that at Sheffield, he gave a really great account for of himself. So I think he's a really good keeper, but I think the player personally would like to leave and get some first team football, become the number one uh, at a Premier League club, and um, I think personally this would be a good opportunity for United to also get some money for their players, because as of now a lot of their players they're finding it really difficult to move them on. So I think I would probably sell Dean Henderson. Maybe I think they could get around 25 to 30 million. So I think he could be a good sell, and they could use that money and to sign players they need elsewhere. Moving on to the defenders, so I think let's just rattle through a few of them. I think Dallo is a definite keep. So is Van Bissaka. I think Manchester United could upgrade at these positions and sign a really like a world class player, but I think there are other positions in the team that require, to be addressed right now. So I think as of now, both their right backs are, they're pretty good for now. Luke Shaw, definite keep. I think he's one of the best left backs in the league, so a definite keep. Now, Harry Maguire, I think he's been stripped of the Manchester United captaincy, and I think it was a brave move from Ten Hag to put his foot down and sort of indicate to Maguire that he's not really needed at the club. I think if I was Maguire, I would definitely try to stay at United, because there's no way he's gonna get as much money as he is at United. But I think as for the club, I think it's just time to call it as it is. This was a move that pretty much failed, so I think it's time to cut your losses and let the player go. Varane a definite keep. Eric Bai, I think definitely sell. I mean, to be honest, I'd forgotten he was even at the club. I think he was at Marseille last season on loan, and with them not wanting to buy him, I don't think it really went as well. So I think it's time to let him go. Get whatever money you can, or just terminate his contract and get him out of the club. Lindelof, I think you keep him. I think he's a solid backup option. Definitely an upgradable position, but as of now, I think he's good enough as a third choice center back. Martinez, definite keep. He's been a brilliant signing, really a good pickup from Manchester United at the start of last season. He's been pretty much their starter whenever he has been fit. So yeah, he stays. As for Malasia, he too, I think they keep him. He's a good backup for Luke Shaw, and I think he's a different kind of fullback as to Luke Shaw, and he gives Ten Hag the option to mix it up based on the requirements of the match. And finally, in the defend, oh, we do have a couple of more defenders. Fernandez, I think you probably loan him out. To be honest, I don't know too much about him in the first team. I haven't seen him too much, but being a young defender from the academy, I think it'll be great for him if he could secure a loan, maybe. Damn. Okay. So I think maybe lower half of the Premier League or the top, top three, four teams in the championship. If he could get some more experience, I think that would be great for him. So Johnny Evans, who signed a short-term deal with United just before preseason started, and United were keen to have him back. He's the only. I think with David De Gea leaving the club, I think now Johnny Evans is the only Premier League winner at this club. So I think as long as he is there, he can provide some experience, help out the younger lads. But I think you can just keep him. I think he just has like a 6 month contract, so yeah, nothing to lose here. Brandon Williams, on the other hand, I think it's a sell for me. I think he personally is not really keen on being loaned out again, and he wants to move out. I think I'd seen some Instagram stories from him where he was sort of bad mouthing the team. So I think it's not really a good look for a club like United to have their own players bad mouthing the club. So I think he's got to go again. A pretty young player, and I think they could get at least I think 10 to 15 million from him from his sale. Okay, so I think that's it for the defenders. Now let's go to the midfield. Scott McTominay. I think he is sort of on the fence for me, but I think I would keep him for now. I think United fans in general have been clamoring for the removal of the McFred midfield, and I think Ten Hag. The first thing he did was move away from that midfield, and um, maybe you could get rid of one of them, but I think if I had to choose between Fred and McTominay to sell, I think I'd probably sell Fred. For what it's worth, I think McTominay being a homegrown player and having that sort of fight in him, that real grit, the passion for the club, I think it does matter at times. So I think I would keep him. So that being said, I think Fred, I think it's time for him to be moved on. I think for the time that he was towards the end of his time, he did put in some good performances, and Ten Hag was able to get the best out of him. But I think his time at United is done, and again, his sale could be vital to fund transfers for other better midfielders. The next, Casemiro, definite keep, brilliant signing. I think he was one of the most important players for United last season. Whenever he was absent, I think the team looked like they lacked, that grit and real presence in midfield. So definite keep. Mason Mount, new signing. Yet to see how he does, but yeah, for now, definite keep. Captain Bruno, one of their best players. I think in the last 7 8 years, I think he's been Manchester United's best signing, and now as captain, that added responsibility. I think he's going to thrive. So I think he's a definite keep. Hannibal, on the other hand, I would say you could maybe loan him out, but I think recently I saw that Luton were really interested in signing him permanently. So again, if United don't see potential for a player to ultimately become a first team player, so I don't think there's any point of sending them out on loans. You might as well just sell them, recoup as much money as possible, and invest it elsewhere. So I think I would sell him. Kobe Mano, I think I would keep him. Again, he could use some more experience, some more game time. But I think in the couple of matches that he did feature in at the back end of last season, I think he played pretty well, and I think it would be useful for him to stay with the club and learn from the likes of Casemiro. I think there's no one better he could learn from. So staying with the club, gaining more experience, getting comfortable with Ten Hag's system, I think that would be better for his progression as of now. So I think he's better for him to stay at the club rather than go on loan. Up next is Donny. Uh, I think overall, pretty much a disaster of a move for everyone involved. I think when Ten Hag came in, he was one of the players I really thought would benefit from his arrival. He's worked with him in the past. Both of them were together during their time at Ajax, but it's just not worked out. Even when he went out on loan to Everton, there he didn't feature either. I think it's time to just sell him, get whatever money you can. I don't know, maybe 10, 15 million for him. And, I think it's time to close the chapter. And it'll be great for him as well as a player because I think he's pretty good. He's got the raw technical ability, but maybe a change of scenario, change of scenery would be better for everyone involved. Ericsson, again, keep him. He is good. I think towards the end of the season, you could see that he was not as fit. But with the arrival of Mount, you wouldn't need him to play every minute of every game. And I think there, if you use him sporadically, you would see the best of him. So a definite keep. Now let's move to the front line. Starting with Anthony, a definite keep as of now. Being bought for over close to 90 million, I don't think he really lived up to the expectations. But I think it's just one season, and if we've seen anything from the likes of City or Liverpool, they never really expect their players to hit the ground running. So I think this second season, I think the expectations will be there for him to now start performing and deliver on their promise. But yeah, a definite keep. As for Martial, I think you keep him just by default because there's literally no other striker at the club right now. Um, there are talks that United are really interested in signing Hoyland from Atlanta, but till that's done, I think you keep him, and then you probably move him on. So I think as of now, I would keep him. But if Hoyland is signed, or any striker for that matter is signed, you move him on because Martial, I think this whole experiment has just not worked out. Like, he doesn't really score too many goals. It's not like he is a pressing monster and can help the team in that way. And his link up play is decent. And but the biggest issue I think for him is just that he's just forever injured, and it doesn't matter how good or bad good you are, but if you're just not fit, it doesn't really matter how good you are. So I think you keep him for now, but if you sign any striker, he has to go. Rashford, definite keep. I think he was one of the best players I've seen at Manchester United over the past the past decade. Last season even hit 30 goals. So I think it's time that he's pretty kicking on really well. So I think you keep him. Sancho also, I think you keep him. Um, I don't know if his stint at United so far has been as good as people expected it to be, given his time at Dortmund, where he was absolutely tearing up the league. His dribble numbers, passing, assists, goals were all off the chart. But I think he falls into more in the category of the likes of Werner and the other Bundesliga players, and not like Haaland, who completely destroyed the league. But I think he does provide some quality. He can progress the ball and provide a different kind of winger as compared to the likes of Rashford, who like to get the balls played in behind. Sancho's the one who likes to receive at feet and dribble at players. So I think for now you keep him. Garnacho, again, I think you keep him. He's a really good player. I think last season, whenever he was given the opportunity, he did come on, make an impact, and score a fair few goals. So I think you give him some more minutes, and you will see him really flourish into the player that we see. The potential that we see. And I think now we have a really like a tough choice with Greenwood because of course his the whole court case that he went through, it was pretty awful, like the allegations and the voice notes and everything that we saw. But just legally speaking, the courts have decided that he was found not guilty. So whether you look at not guilty as innocent, or you look at not guilty as just the court not being able to find enough evidence to find him guilty, that's a different discussion. But I think if you just look at it from a footballing perspective, I think there's no denying that the guy is really talented. Just his footballing ability, he's really talented. Before all of the legal issues came up, um, I think he and Foden were on par, like talent wise. And if you see where Foden has gone on to flourish as a City regular, picking up 5 Premier League titles, if I'm not wrong, I think Greenwood does have the potential, but again, it's going to be a PR disaster. Um, so I think this is a really complicated one, but I think for me personally, I don't think it's worth United's hassle. And I think, for him personally, I don't think that football in general should cast him away, because I think as a person, he deserves the right to earn a living wage. And, you know, he has the ability. He is a really good player. So I think a move away to another country where he's away from the UK media and, away from that limelight, I think it could help him to, reestablish himself as a footballer. So I think I think you try to sell him, get money if you can, or you just release him. But I think United have sort of have not really commented on this, so I think we'll just leave it ourselves for now. Shola Shortire, I think another loan move would be good for him. I think last season on loan he featured pretty prominently and he did get a few goals, but I think he still needs to sort of grow out physically and get accustomed to the Premier League. So maybe another loan to the Championship, but this time to the top half, maybe the top couple of teams, or to the bottom half of the Premier League would be really good for him to gain more experience. But yeah, I think for now he goes out on loan. For Facundo Pellistri, he was at the club last season, but again, I think now it'll be really useful for him to go out on loan, get some experience, score some goals, get accustomed to playing week in week out, and get that match experience. And finally, Ahmad Diallo, I think now you keep him at the club, give him an opportunity, because at I think he was at Sunderland last season and I think he performed really well. I think he scored about 14, 15 goals. So I think he's shown that he is good enough, or maybe a little too good for the Championship. So you give him an opportunity at United, see how that works out. And if that doesn't work out, I think you try to move him on. But I think as of now, you keep him at the club. So guys, yeah, this is the final tier list. There are a few players. I think if United sold all of these players that I have in mind, I think they could recoup close to maybe 80 to 100 million. And 100 million for United, if they're really smart about it, they could sign at least two really high quality players. So guys, let me know, what do you think in the comments down below. Would you Do you agree with my choices for United players? And yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Yeah, take care. Ciao.